this just be like a miscommunication, maybe?
Of course you can. I just don't think that's the most reasonable inference, though.
Polly's in the chat. Would you mind if I brought her into this conversation?
I would a little bit. I'm not really prepared to deal with her at this moment.
President Sunday came in trying to be like president, fucking save the day.
So President Sunday did leak one of my friend's DMs, and I didn't like that.
Because he's so fragile. You know, he's got the fucking white guy fragility thing going on.
Okay, so yeah, explain to me what's going on here, because I'm mucho confused.
What part's confusing you, or just the whole thing?
So from what I can tell, this all started with that Kaya person tweeting out that there was, server full of 300 people, and that they were going to use these 300 people to mass report a list of streamers. James went, Nancy Drew on the case, and went to investigate who this could be.
Ellen is somebody who doesn't have a lawyer. That's who Ellen is. Ellen is a dumb cunt with no lawyer. Ellen, you should have spent your time getting a lawyer instead of tweeting that Ross Publica is a pedophile. Oh, there it is. Hey, what's up, Ellen?
And through the power of deduction, James decided that it was Ellen, and he said in his conversation with you that he and Polly thought it was Ellen. Is that what I got? Did I get that correctly?
Polly was acting as if she thought it was Ellen. Polly was apparently involved in the process even before they sent out the initial messages.
Yeah, so apparently this is now 5 steps around. I think the other person who got it is Polly.
And as far as I can ascertain, she did not object to being included in the process until that became an inconvenience later on. So that's my inference at this juncture. There's no way to prove any of this. This would have all been done in private conversations between whoever was involved in this.
But James was the one who claimed that Polly and him made
James
that
was the one who claimed that, and when I contacted Polly before I went on stream with James, she was like really resisting the idea that it wasn't Ellen. She was when I bring this up, it's like, hey, I don't think this is Ellen. I don't think the evidence bears this out. Her response was to give me explanations of why it is plausible that it is Ellen. So like the discrepancies between the attitude of Kaya to the transgenocide idea versus Ellen, who of course is very much in favor of describing what's going on as a transgenocide, that is explained away by there being 2 different people managing the account. And then farther down, she insists, no, it must be a trans community that's doing it. It was weird. And then she became extraordinarily incensed afterwards because I was loud with James.
Could this just be like a miscommunication? Maybe that maybe it looked like she was saying it was definitely Ellen, but what she was saying is like, oh, it could be this person, and it could be this type of person instead, or something like that.
Of course it can. I just don't think I just don't think that's the most reasonable inference, though. It is an inference, like it's always going to be one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The problem I'm looking at here is I'm combining that with she's the only one taking offense to this. She's defending the reasoning process afterwards. She cuts when she covers my interaction with James. She actually closes it off early in a huff, like she's really offended by this. And then afterwards, she goes off, like just flatly misrepresenting the contents of other DMs that are not pertinent to this.
Oh, I see Polly's in the chat. Would you mind if I brought her into this conversation?
I would a little bit. I'm not really prepared to deal with her at this moment. And I've already spent like a fair bit of time dealing with this. I'm not going to be offended if you bring her on after me. But I really don't have a ton of time. I have somebody else waiting for me here. I just wanted to help clear up any confusions that you might be having, because I don't know if this was the case on your end, but the audio is very choppy, so I would have had trouble following that myself.
Okay, yeah, I'm just kind of catching up to drama over the past few days. So what I'm getting is that Polly says that, she never was saying that. James, for some reason, thinks that she was saying that. You, for some reason, think that she was saying that. And she is saying, no, I wasn't saying that. There
are very specific reasons for why I am saying that. So the inference that I'm making is based off the fact, again, that James initially points to her in particular, nobody else, just her.
Okay.
This is how they got the list of victims. Da, 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 da. This is the person you talk to for an explanation of the process. Polly has no objection to this. Polly defends the conclusion as well as the process in the subsequent stream that she did. She takes extraordinary offense at my being dismissive of that process and James, and then is extremely duplicitous in the following streams where she is attacking me. So that's more or less where I'm coming from on this. I'm not wedded to the idea that Polly is
Yeah.
directly responsible for this, but I think that's the most reasonable explanation, and I think her conduct around this has been just ridiculous.
You know,
So
I think probably the best person to clear up this misunderstanding would probably be James, honestly. If we could get like the three of you guys into a call, then James would maybe.
I understand how
Yeah.
attractive that would be. There's a couple of problems associated with that. First of all, James is going in for surgery over the weekend, so he's going to be indisposed for a little while. That's the major one. Secondly, maybe you have a different relationship with James than I do. My only experience of him was him pushing back in what I read to be a pretty dishonest and obtuse way when he was already attacking somebody on like bad evidence for a considerable length of time.
Mhm.
I don't personally see much to be gained by a conversation with people that I already consider to be dishonest. Like I wouldn't like encourage you not to talk to them. I just don't think that my being in interaction with them would add anything.
Okay. So I guess, are you satisfied with everything that you've explained to me just now?
I'd say more or less. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out. I will be indisposed for the next day or so, but just DM me.
Okay, sure, yeah. Chat, if you have any questions, let me know. And then I'll bring Polly in then next to explain her side of this story. So
Take care.
yeah. Thanks, President Sunday, for joining. Polly, feel free to join the Discord and just join lobby if you'd like to explain your side of the story as well. Because again, I'm just catching up to this drama. And from what I can tell is this Kaya person tweeted out. People think it's an alt. And James went a full on Nancy Drew Sherlock Holmes trying to figure out who it was. And then James said it was Ellen. And he said, through the power of deduction, I've determined it's Ellen. And then and he also said, he implied that Polly was also in on it. And President Sunday said, no, it's not. And then James was like, oh crap, it's not. And then Polly was like, what are you talking about? I never said it was Ellen. That's what I got. But and I can't confirm anything because I don't have DMs between people. I can't say who is and who isn't, right? So I'll pull Polly in now. Hello? Anything, because I don't have DMs between people. I can't say who is and who isn't, right? So I'll pull Polly in now. Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Because I don't have DMs between people. Hey, I think I'm echoing through your
Yeah,
microphone.
sorry about that. It should be fixed now. Let me turn up your volume.
No problem.
Okay, so what's up? Thank you for pulling me on.
Yeah, of course.
President Sunday is a liar. He is he should know better. I covered this on stream supposedly with him watching today. I guess he didn't pay attention to what I was saying. So here's the deal. I keep saying over and over again, you can't hear it because he's talking over me during this entire time. Immensely frustrating to talk to that guy. I'll tell you fucking what. You and I are have something in common. We're both victims of a deplatforming campaign that could, if it were successful, I have no doubt you're in the same position where I am, probably even more so. Whereas if you got deplatformed, you will lose a significant, maybe all of your fucking income, right? Very scary, very fucking scary, very upsetting. President Sunday, James wanted to find out what happened. He was wrong. He came to a conclusion on his. Well, I don't know who he had involved with the investigation. Came to the wrong conclusion, right?
Yeah.
President Sunday says James says that I was involved in that, but what he's doing is he's misinterpreting something that James is saying. James suggested that the process to identify the bad doer was as follows: was one, there was a list of targets compiled, and the list of targets compiled, I didn't take part in, right? But I do know I did approve of the thinking, right? Because you could do the same thing, right? It was that
Mm-hmm.
account like a targeted literally you, me, and a bunch of other people, right? So
Uh-huh.
like me agreeing with that, and fully understanding how that list came to be because it was all targeted by that one account. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing that James was referring to. Uh, uh, and President Sunday, I cleared that up today. He supposedly watched it and still continues to fucking lie. There, the second list was the suspect list, which I didn't even know existed.
Mm-hmm.
I only found out that this expose was happening like 5 seconds before Sunday did, and yet he's acting like somehow I was in on the whole thing. Eh, Here's how this thing came to a head. So President Sunday came in, trying to be like president fucking save the day. Like he wants to be a white knight. He wants to come in, be on the side of right, yell and scream, and be a big savior boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big tough guy. So he shows up. He gets on stream with James. James says, "Oh look, um, Ellen is in the chat, wants to talk." Sunday doesn't go anywhere. He just wants to have his like 5 minutes of fame and like yell at James for being wrong. And uh, uh, so he does that. He gets off stream. James and Ellen talk. James immediately recognizes he's wrong, is super sorry, super apologetic.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, Ellen is, to his fucking infinite credit, very, very gracious, has been super gracious since then. Like,
Yeah.
James is doing what he can to sort of give him some clout or whatever.
Yeah.
And I talked to him before and after. Like, it's a pretty open and shut, like, fuck up, right? But like, James is a stand-up guy. Like, like, like he's gonna do what he can to make it right. And he probably feels bad even right now. Like,
Yeah.
he's not gonna get over it for a while. So like, fuck this guy coming in here now. So here's what happened after that. So like, he put out a YouTube video. He put that the Encyclopedia Brown YouTube video. I put a comment in the fucking YouTube comments just saying, I'm disappointed in Sunday here. It felt like he was being intrusive or something like that. President
Mm-hmm.
Sunday goes fucking nuts, dude. He like writes a crazy response, and then GMs me directly and saying, "Are we gonna do this?" And you know me. If you say, "Are you gonna do this?" I'm like, "Is there
You
something
like
you're
a fight.
asking me
Yeah.
to do?" You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean by
Yeah.
that? And so I answer the YouTube. He like makes him. He makes wrong allegations that he's continuing to repeat right now on the YouTube. So I'm defending myself in YouTube comments. I as part of the fucking deplatforming campaign, I'm not on Twitter right now. Maybe tomorrow or the next. I don't remember. But like, so they successfully got me off of Twitter. They're still working on Twitch. Hopefully, neither of us gets fucking deplatformed from these freaks. But
Yeah.
but so he said something, to the effect that, well, if you're not going to, resolve our issues privately, and are going to say something publicly, then he said something like, I can't control what's going to happen on my end, uh, but you do what you want. I'm like, wait a second, what? That sounds menacing, dude. And then he took offense to that, said I was menacing, and then at the end of the day, he like broke contact President Run Day, and then put out a fucking PSA. He put out a fucking PSA, a notice to his community that Polly is unsafe. We you
Oh
we
no. What?
I know. Yeah. What a fucking piece of shit, dude. He's been fucking defaming me, and it is for the fucking worst reason. It's because he's so fragile. He's got the fucking white guy fragility thing going on. He can't accept any criticism. Uh, eh, eh, the most minor criticism, he goes on full attack. It's fucking nuts, dude. Oh, I hate him.
Yeah.
I hate him so much.
So what it looks like to me is that he probably was right about, he was right about being critical of James for
Sure.
and I don't think you even deny that that he was right about
No.
being critical of James for saying that it was Ellen without enough evidence, but maybe he was a bit too abrasive, and then for whatever reason he took what James said and has attributed that to you, has attributed you as like a conspirator or something like that,
Yeah, well, he
and hasn't dropped
misinterpreted
that.
something, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, right, he hasn't dropped it even though I spent, like, a large time in my stream today that he was in the chat saying, "I'm watching it," trying to explain why he misinterpreted it and debunk his fucking claims. He supposedly watched it and then left when it was over, and now it's bad faith, right? At this point, like I have tried to, meet him where he's at, try to show him why he's wrong, and he's still saying, like, notice he's not saying anymore, Polly's a liar. He's like, well, the best reading of all the evidence is that I
Yeah.
think she's lying. Fuck you, dude. Like, get the fuck out of here. Just admit you're wrong, say you're sorry, and we can move on, right? But he's unwilling to
Yeah.
do that for the
I
same
do want
reason
to
why
be
he's
fair
casual
and
about
yeah, I agree with you. I do want to be fair to him, and I did ask him, like, do you think it's possible that this could just be like miscommunication between you and Polly, and that maybe you're misattributing things to her? And he said, yeah, it's possible, but
Yeah,
I'm more likely to believe that
right.
she's lying, which I don't know why he would believe that.
Yeah, well, right, right. Well, the reason is he's unwilling to accept criticism, which is why I ended up saying, "Look, this guy is not an ally," right? Like, yes, he's mad at only me, but if you say, "Hey, look, Polly, you put a mild YouTube critique in the fucking YouTube comments, and I'm gonna go hog wild on you," and then blame, like he's like, uh, 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 his attacks on me start to make no sense, right? Because he just throws shit at the wall. Like, uh, he like mischaracterized what our DMs were like, and then so I released the DMs to just clear things up, and he's like, "Polly, how dare you release the DMs? That's a bad look." I'm like, "What are you talking about, dude? You raised it." I'm just
Yeah,
like, "Fuck you, dude." So
yeah,
like, I fucking hate President Sunday. Like, you and I have had conflict before, but like, I don't think you're lying about shit, right? Like,
yeah,
like at least
yeah,
he's like next level shit, right?
yeah. Like, all I can really say about Sunday is that I'm very entertained watching like the things that he does. And
Yeah.
like that's like the one of the nicer ways to put it.
Yeah,
So
well, that's fine. You like it's a
yeah,
shit show. So I don't mind people watching the shit show between me and President Sunday because I don't think he looks all that good. But I mean, he looks like a misogynistic prick if you're gonna ask me. And he gives himself all
yeah,
kinds of excuses to just talk over me. Uh, and that's fine. I just don't want any misinformation out there. I don't want like people to fucking believe facts that aren't true about me because some dumb fuck says it. Some fucking
yeah.
idiot
I don't
says it in
think.
a monotone voice.
Well, honestly, like I think I'm not super connected to all this drama, but I don't think the average person is really thinking too much about this interaction with James and Ellen. And at the most
Yeah,
people will remember it for like 2 or 3 days, but generally people
yeah.
forget after 2 or 3 days. I guess more what I would be thinking about is this Kaya person. So I think this Kaya person and what's been speculated is it's most likely like a troll that's trying to pit a
Yeah.
bunch of streamers against each other.
Well, okay. Oh, okay, so here there's no way to tell, of course,
Yeah.
and I doubt anybody would ever, like, turn up, the real, like, definitive evidence, but, like, the one thing that stood out to me is, like, literally anytime anybody wants to criticize me because they don't like me, there's transphobia. Like, it's the go-to with me at all, and like all of the attacks on me on Twitter were like kind of pointed, but none were transphobic. And I'm like, oh fuck, this is a leftist trans community that's coming after liberals, right? But they don't like me for some reason. I'm sort of the odd one out on the target list, right? Because I'm like by all respects like a puritanical like uh, um, uh, ideologue, right? You would say that certainly, right? So like to have an
I don't
attack on
know.
me from the left, it's got to be personal as opposed to ideological. But
Mhm.
that's all I could tell is that this is a um this is a leftist community that has a large, might just be, I don't know how many people are involved at all, but like it's definitely has a large trans element. But
You
that's
think
all I sort of
so?
put
You think
together.
it's somebody with with being part of that community?
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. I think this is like I fucking hate this because this makes somebody like Mr. Girl say about cancel culture. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm sick
God,
of this
dude.
cancel culture after all. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, yeah, okay, so that's the thing. I was like, God damn you. Fuck you, dude. Now I gotta be friends with all of the liberals, like all the center left people. I guess I'm gonna be hanging out with now.
Yeah.
So what's up?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm just trying to make heads or tails of this drama that's going on, and I thought it would be like, I don't know, I always get like a good laugh out of watching like these interactions and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I have no idea about this drama. Somebody is in my DMs yelling it's no comment chick. Somebody's in my DMs yelling it's nine tails.
Yeah,
Somebody in
it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's I wouldn't throw out accusations like that because
yeah.
I have no reason to believe that it's no comment chick for sure, and I certainly wouldn't think it's nine tails because I have no evidence for that. Like it's just
Uh-huh.
not. I don't like. Let's not like repeat James's mistake.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I'm just saying there are people in my DMs like yelling all sorts of things, and I think right now the safest assumption is like probably assume that it's a troll right now trying to get a reaction out of a bunch of streamers. That's kind of what
Oh,
I
sure,
assume.
sure,
Yeah, yeah,
sure. I
um,
think the reality is it's probably unknowable. It's
yeah.
probably unknowable, but I took a I took a special note about the lack of transphobia because I'm telling you, it literally never happens. It never is.
Yeah.
Transphobia is usually like the first thing they go to.
Sorry, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's what
Yeah.
I mean. You probably could guess that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even in the most progressive spaces, you'll find like there are elements
Oh,
of
for sure.
bigotry that come out. So yeah, it is
Oh,
it
for
is
sure.
what
For sure.
happens. So
For sure.
but
Well,
yeah, I guess I'll watch the rest of this and see how it goes. And I think
yeah, go
probably
for
the
it.
only way I could envision this being cleared up is if we got like James from the internet and you and President Sunday into a call. I think that's the only way that possibly President Sunday would find himself being satisfied and in coming to like a reasonable conclusion through all of this. But he said that James is in surgery or something this weekend or something like that.
Well, okay, so like, yeah, I mean, he has some medical shit going on, but I doubt James wants to talk about this. Like, he might be mad at me that I'm still being pissy about it.
Uh,
But
yeah, James.
you
To be
tell him.
fair, to be fair to James, he probably wants to move on from the mistake as quickly as
Yeah,
possible. But
yeah,
um, but yeah, it might just be. I don't know if he's having health issues. I just certainly don't want to disturb him. But it might be worth like clearing up at some point in the future when things have died down a bit or something like that. Because I
yeah.
don't like to see it, and I don't think President Sunday is particularly like aiming at you like I think he's more like
Thank
just
you,
very
IRI.
stubborn, He's a very stubborn guy. And I don't think he's trying to aim at you from anything other than like personal pride, right? Like he wants to be right
Yeah,
about
sure.
everything and nobody wants to be the person in the wrong. So
Yeah,
so I
but
think it's
he's willing to
definitely.
do a lot of things in service of his ego, and that's why I say he's not he can't possibly be an ally to anybody.
Well, you never know. There are a lot of allies who have character flaws, right? But yeah,
Yeah, but not being able to take criticism is a pretty big
yeah.
strike against anybody's allyship.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll think about it some more for sure, and I'll watch the rest
Yeah,
of this
alright,
video and see how it goes. Yeah. But
okay.
if you have any other questions for me, or if you feel like I'm missing anything, let me know. I'm always happy to talk. So, yeah,
Alright, sounds good. I
yeah,
appreciate the time.
yeah. Of course. Thank you. See ya.
Bye.
So President Sunday did leak one of my friends' DMs, and I didn't like that. I don't know if you guys know Boots, okay? But I don't think it's right that he has been going after DK and Chud Logic and using Boots as a way to do that. I don't think that's right. And to use Boots as like a weapon in that, I don't think that's right. The monkey from Dora. I thought Boots is a cat's name. That's why I like her, because Boots is a cat's name. I think President Sunday is very funny. But yeah, I don't think it's right for him to be going after Boots the way that he has been. Especially, she's not a streamer. DK is not a streamer. You know, I think it's not right to do that. DK makes himself loud enough as a content contributor to be fair game, in my opinion. I guess, yeah, but like Boots shouldn't be dragged into this and stuff, you know. Yeah. And I know he leaked the DMs with him and Boots. When Boots was just trying to be nice to him, he leaked those DMs without any reason to, and I don't think he should have done that. Boots is my editor, and so I don't like it when people do that to her. And yeah, I just don't think I don't think it's right.